Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to say hello to everybody. I want to come in and talk to you guys about what's going on with this stock market. This stock market has been throwing temper tantrums lately. Things are down. Things are down quite a lot. And I will tell you that this is something that I've been paying attention to. Effectively, what's happening today is that the market is having the kind of day that I mentioned to you all. I mentioned this to you all about a week ago, or really more than a week ago, that the market was eventually going to start turning red. Today was a red day. And I wouldn't call that a bad day because remember, if you are a good investor, then you see that as an opportunity to buy the dip. Hey, Tarek, how are you doing? Tarek speaks. You're a speaker. Very nice. Okay, cool. Put your business in the chat if you guys have a business. I want to see you guys make money. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you on top of the world. Marvin Purnell, Joanne Dixon, good to see you. Give me a quick yes if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me okay. And also, I want to let everybody know that I did pick some stocks that I like out there. And thank you, Tarek. I appreciate you saying that about the platform. I picked some stocks. And if you want to see what Dr. Boyce is buying, that's something we have in the Black Business School. So feel free to go to drboycestocks.com. And actually, toward the end of the video, I'll share with you a stock that I'm buying today, and I'll explain why I'm buying it. So here's what's happening. Basically, tech stocks are getting hammered pretty bad. Microsoft and Meta are leading the charge in terms of stocks that are getting beat up pretty bad today, largely because of this reshaping of the AI narrative. AI is this thing that we know is going to take over the world and possibly kill us all. And it is expected to also make a lot of money, but that hasn't yet happened. And so the big question mark with AI is, will AI become what we think it's going to be? Will it become what we expect? And so what is happening now is that narrative is being questioned a little bit. It doesn't mean that they think AI is going to be a flop or it's not going to make money. It's going to make money. The only question is how much money is it going to make? So effectively here, when I'm doing, sort of looking through CNBC and stuff like that, it's not that they don't think AI is going to do well. They're just sort of looking at AMD in particular. And AMD basically had some disappointing outlook. They made big money, but what happened was they also do what they call guidance. Guidance is where the captain of the ship looks out and looks to see what he sees out front of him. So the investors are looking at the captain saying, okay, captain, what do you see? And the AMD CEO is basically saying, we don't expect that the growth is going to be what we expected it to be. So when you have a reduction in expectations, that tends to lead to a reduction in price. Also, there is something called financial contagion, where if AMD is having shaky results, that can affect a lot of companies in the tech industry because there's a connection, almost like a virus, where all the companies sort of affect each other. And so actually my dissertation chair, Andrew Caroli, who's at Cornell University, he back in my PhD program, he would torture me by having me read all these research papers on financial contagion. And the benefit is that we get to talk about that today. And so also one good piece of news, though, right now with the economy is that when they measured inflation through the PCE, which is the personal consumption expenditures index, which the Fed uses to determine if they're going to change interest rates, if they're going to go down. Do I think they're ever going to go down to 2.5% to 3%? That's a possibility. There's a chance they're going to reduce interest rates again at the next Fed meeting because the inflation, the PCE numbers were about 2.1%, which is really good. That's close to the Fed's target of 2% for inflation. So what's going to happen is that when the Fed makes their next interest rate decision, there is a belief that they're going to reduce interest rates again. Now, will they get down to 2.5% or 3%, Tarek? I don't know, but I do believe that they are going to get down pretty good. But remember this, though, historically, the interest rates that you had in the 2010s, between say 2010 and 2020, that may never happen again. That is not normal. It is, in fact, it's not even healthy to have interest rates that low the way they had them. It didn't make any sense to me, to be honest with you. So don't be surprised if the rates never get back to that level. My parents, I told you all that I believe in Black love because I saw a good model with my parents who just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, and I went back and I looked to see, just what was going on financially when they got married and beyond that. And my father, when he bought our first house in 1983. Guess what his interest rate was? Guess. Put it in the chat. It was 13%. 13%. So and he was, he just got the house and he didn't regret it. It was the first step toward building wealth. Now my parents are happily retired because they made the investments while they were young to allow their wealth to grow. They invested in they back in the day they did have the pensions and stuff like that, but they also put money in savings in the 401k. For a lot of middle class Americans, most of their wealth is actually tied up in their house. They also invested in their children. See, this is the kind of stuff that we do in the Black Business School that I think makes us very special and unique. As I explained to you in financial theory, ways that you can invest for retirement in ways that have nothing to do with money. So by raising kids who are not crazy, pouring into us. My father raised me. He didn't have to. He was not my biological father. I'm sure a lot of men would have called him a simp for taking care of somebody else's kid. Well, guess what the benefit is? When it came time to pay off the house, guess who grew up and became a grown man? Little Coco. That was my nickname. Little Coco grew up into a grown ass man. And I said, you know what, Daddy, because I appreciate you pouring into me and taking care of me when nobody else did, let me pay off your house for you. Now you're older, you're tired, you got a son that loves you and is loyal to you because you were loyal to me when nobody else was. Everybody else thought I was just a worthless little black boy that wasn't worth anybody's time because my father wasn't there. Well, you were there for me, and now you get to receive a reward for that. So don't ever think about investing as just in money. It's not just about the money. Sometimes your biggest investment can actually be in people. So your children are a tremendous asset if you work the asset, if you pour into the asset. So pour into the kids, pour into the family. That's how wealth is built. Okay. In fact, actually, just speaking on that wealth and family, I was listening to just today, I was listening to the history of the DuPont family. The DuPont family, again, same thing, similar to what I talk about in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. The DuPont family, they were a really strong, loyal family. They go all the way back to the French Revolution. That was when the first DuPont started the first business in France. And he had to leave France because in the French Revolution, they were basically killing all the rich people. So the DuPont family came to America. They didn't have nothing. The journey was terrible because the captain got lost. They were literally eating boiled rats like to survive this journey. That's how crazy it was. And they got here and they started this little business making gunpowder, and they expanded into other stuff. Now DuPont is this multi-billion-dollar company, and a lot of their core values were centered around family. They knew that in order to survive, they had to stick together. They knew that family was a key to survival. So give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. I hope that this is sinking in. Your family is an asset, and so don't let them kill your family. So society, I think there's something. I really think that I think that's part of a plan. I don't think that this is by accident. I don't think they want black people to have strong families because people that don't have strong families tend to have a much higher probability of being economically desperate. And when you're economically desperate, you have to go outside of the family to get what you need, and that's when you get pimped, exploited, used up, and they give you these black jobs, which leave you broke for the rest of your life, and you don't know why. This is what's going on. This is what's happening. So anyway, let me keep going. Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Just a reminder, this podcast is on Spotify. If you look up my name, Boyce Watkins, you'll find Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market, and you'll also find the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. That's where I kind of just talk about a little bit of everything. So feel free to check out Spotify. And also tonight, we're doing a session in our real estate club where we're going to talk to the Acre Boys. The Acre Boys have an amazing business where they're doing amazing stuff, and I'm bringing them to class because I respect black men and black women that are doing great work. And so if you want to do a free trial in our Black Real Estate Club, feel free to go to drboycerealestate.com. That's drboycerealestate.com. The URL's on the screen. All right, so let me finish up in terms of talking about what's happening today, and then I'm going to mention the stock I just bought, and I'm going to tell you some reasons why. So right now, some other things happening. There is an issue with oil. Basically, the Israelis are bombing the Iranians, and the big question with that bombing was, are you going to mess up the oil refineries? And and the Israelis chose not to do that. And I think that was probably due to pressure from the United States government. The United States government basically was probably telling the Israelis, like, look, if you blow up the oil refineries and mess up the price of oil, we're going to be mad at you. And they didn't do that. So the Israelis spared the oil refineries, which has protected the price of oil and kept it from going up. It went up slightly, but it was actually good that it didn't go up a lot because if they had done that, it would have caused some major issues in oil supply. It would have also probably pushed down stock prices in a major way. Now, let me tell you about a stock that I am buying right now that I just bought. I am buying shares of Meta. Meta. I like Meta. You know why I like Meta? Because man, I'm gonna tell you, I don't even like. I'm mad at Mark Zuckerberg. And let me tell you why I'm mad. Because I had an Instagram page with 700,000 followers, and they killed my whole Instagram page, and then they killed my personal Facebook page too. Didn't even tell me why. Didn't even get. I couldn't even talk to customer service. All my friends, a lot of my friends were on Facebook. Now I just disappeared. It was terrible. Even friends that I was sharing messages with and had long threads with, the whole thread disappeared. Somebody said, Boyce, all of our conversations we've had for the last 10 years are gone. So I'm mad at I have a big bone to pick with them over this, but I still like Meta as a stock. That's how I try to think about it. So it's just business, whatever. So I like Meta because I think Meta represents the future. Meta is doing some pretty visionary things. Um, I have tested out AR and VR, and I absolutely love it. I play VR golf every day. Every day, I feel like I was on the golf course. It's that amazing. And the only problem is that it's for nerdy people like me, right? You got to put on these big clunky headsets, and that's why a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't want to do all that." But when they came out with those sunglasses, that are stylish and easy to use and still give you access to augmented reality, which is amazing. I started seeing the future and I started seeing their vision a little bit more clearly. And I just believe they're onto something. I really do. I think that when they blend AR, VR, and AI, it's going to be explosive. And then you throw in things like, these other things we're not talking about as much, like quantum computing and all that. It's going to be crazy. The next 5 to 10 years is going to be amazing and beautiful and extraordinary to watch, assuming AI doesn't just like get access to a nuclear weapon and kill us all. So anyway, I bought shares of Meta today. The reason I bought it is because it's much cheaper because Meta got body slammed by the market. Days like this are days where you can buy extra shares for a good price. And let me see what the price is right now for Meta stock, and I'll tell you how much it's dropped this week. Let me see. Meta stock right now is trading at 567. The last 5 days it's gone down by about 1% though, but today it went down by 4%. So I went ahead and bought some shares of Meta because I just like that company. I think it's a good, strong business. And if you're also into things like selling stock options, like we do in the Prime program, then Meta is even a stock that you can sell options on. Okay, so feel free to take a look at that. I'm not telling you what to do. If you want to know kind of the bull case of Meta, they have really strong revenue growth in their digital advertising. So they're AI and machine learning at an epic level. They have a major dominance in social media, where they have 3 billion active users, which no other platform can match. They also have strong financial performance that they tend to deliver high profit margins, stuff like that. Now, some of the risk, number one, is that they are spending lots of money on this VR AR gamble. If it doesn't work out, it could be messy. I personally think it's going to work out because they're a company that's on the cutting edge of VR, AR, and AI. And I think all these things together will create consumable products that people are going to love. Number two, they do have scrutiny from federal regulators. So basically, what's been happening is you tend to have these congressional hearings from where the tech giants have to go before Congress and kind of justify their business to make sure that they're not engaged in anti-competitive practices. There are lots of accusations of this. So one of the reasons that a lot of tech companies switched over from Kamala Harris to Donald Trump is because they got tired of the Biden administration kind of constantly pushing them on the antitrust issues. Now, here's the thing. This is where the Biden administration had it right. The tech companies need to be challenged on anti-regulatory grounds. They are engaged in a lot of anti-competitive practice, and it's kind of this thing where they are able to economically bully other companies, and I don't think that that's right. But it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is that if Trump gets elected, these tech companies are probably going to see a boost. So if you believe in Trump and if you like Trump, then the AI, the tech companies, the Magnificent Seven might be a good place to invest your money. Also, I mentioned to you all yesterday that actually now on Robinhood, some of us, not everybody, but if you get approved, you can actually invest in the election. Did y'all know that? That literally they have these little contracts you can buy on Harris or Trump. I bought some Kamala Harris contracts, not because I think she's going to win, not because I have a horse in the game. I really don't. I'm sorry. I don't care who wins. I care if my family wins. I care if the black community wins. I don't. These politicians are not my favorite thing. But I did buy some Kamala Harris contracts mainly because they had, I think, like a 39% chance of Kamala winning, and I think that that's way off. And in fact, Nate Silver from the New York Times, who predicts elections, he actually said something about these about the gambling sites. A lot of you have seen this where they'll show the gambling sites are predicting Trump to win by a major landslide. And he said something about that. Let me see if I can find the freaking article. Damn, man, where is it? I don't see it. Dang on it. I don't see it, but I'll find it. When I find it, I'm going to come back and talk about this because you can't look at those gambling sites as accurate predictors of who's going to win. My argument is these that these gambling sites are biased, that they're biased because it's mostly men that are on these sites, and and Trump supporters are mostly men. So it's going to look like Trump is way ahead when I don't think he's way ahead. I think that it's more like a 50-50. But anyway, it'll be up to you to decide who to vote for. I truly don't care. All right, so what else? Meta's got some competition. There are some vulnerabilities in their ad revenue and things like that. And also, when you have 3 billion users, it's really hard to grow. So you got to find other areas of growth. So let's just see how Meta ends up doing that. Okay, so anyway, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. If you want to join us when we sell stock options and make money, a lot of people love our Prime program. Stands for Passive Recurring Income Machine. Basically, how to make money without working, and it does work. I'm not a financial influencer. I'm a financial scientist, so I'm not here to give you hype. I'm here to give you substance. So if you'd like to take a look, feel free to go to drboyceprime.com. That's drboyceprime.com. And also, don't forget, we have Money in the Morning every single day, every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. We do financial consciousness training where we talk about how to economically elevate, the art of economic elevation. So feel free to text the word morning to the number 87948, or you can go to b1moneytips.com. How much money do we need to start investing? You don't need it. You can start investing with $5 in 5 minutes. $5 in 5 minutes. Stop thinking that you need a lot of money to invest. You really don't. It helps to have more money, but everyone should invest. Everyone should invest. And the reason you should invest is because AI is coming. It's going to kill a lot of jobs, and it's going to concentrate a lot of wealth in the hands of these tech billionaires. So the best way to benefit from that is to own stock in these companies that are heavy into AI. They know what they're doing. They're going to make all the money. You want to own stock in those companies. Now, if you want to know about the stock option program, okay, how much does it cost to invest? It's best if you're talking about selling stock options and making, like, say, a few $100s a month in income pretty safely. I would say $10,000 is a good number to start in terms of your capital base. So you'd have, say, $10,000 worth of stock, and you can make a decent income off of that every month. That would be enough to maybe pay your car note, maybe a big chunk of your rent, stuff like that. For those of you that have really saved a lot of money, 50 to 100,000, it's really easy. I mean, I have a lot of students that have actually quit their jobs because they didn't know it was this easy to make money. There's money out there. You just have to know how. You have to know how to get it. How do you buy the Kamala Harris contract? If you log into Robinhood, you should see it in there. If you don't see it in there, maybe that means that you're not part of the beta. I found out it's not released to everybody, but I just saw a thing with Kamala over here and Trump over here, and I was like, oh, what is this? And what happened was there was some sort of Supreme Court decision that basically made it legal to do this. Before, it wasn't legal. Now it's legal. So that's what happened. And then Robinhood jumped right on it and started, capitalizing from it. But be careful out here, because there's a lot of these sites that are trying to get you into gambling. And when I tell you that there is a gambling addiction epidemic around the corner, I'm not playing. It's going to be huge and massive. It's going to affect a lot of young men mostly, because those are the people that these sporting bets app sports betting apps are pursuing. They're pursuing young men between, say, 21 and 35, and they're going to end up. A lot of them are going to become addicts, and it's going to destroy a lot of families. So just be really careful. If you get caught in that in that addiction, it's really hard to climb out of that because what it does is it creates these scenarios where you can have debt, that's super high and your income is tiny. So it's like, oh wait, I make 40,000 a year, but I owe 200,000. How do I deal with that? And for some people, it leads to devastating outcomes. So I would encourage you to be careful with it, and also be careful getting into relationships with people who have that kind of a habit, because I've seen a lot of families get ruined that way. When I wrote my book, Financial Lovemaking, back when I was on the faculty of Syracuse, I found a lot of women who married men that had, because for some reason it was the men that had the addictions most likely. And they would marry men that had these gambling addictions or drug addictions or whatever, and it would ruin them financially. So just be really thoughtful. Just be really careful. Reddit stock did jump. I did see that, Andrea. And I own Reddit, I believe. I think I bought some, and I was happy about that. So yeah, Reddit did jump. I was surprised, actually. I didn't know how the company was going to do. I had good feelings about it, but it was interesting to see what it did. Okay. All right. So God bless you guys. Have a great day. I'll check in with you a little bit later. If you want to join us for class tomorrow, just text the word morning to the number 87948, and I'll send you an invitation to join us for class tomorrow morning. All right. So God bless you. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And if you want to join us tonight for our real estate club meeting, feel free to go to drboycerealestate.com, and you can do a free trial and see if you like it. So drboycerealestate.com. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.